All right, everybody, this is a high-level Stormgate match. We have Theory, one of the top 10 Infernal players in the world, one of the top 10 players in the world in Stormgate. He is going to be playing the Infernals in the bottom left corner of the map, and in the top right corner of the map, we have the red Vanguard player top. Now, this is just a ladder game. I do have a little bit of reference for this one, but I will let you guys know about that a little bit later when the specific event happens. So it's going to be a bit of a surprise here. We see immediately Theory is going to be opening up with a Conclave. Very defensive positioning here so that he can get his Gaunt in between his Shrine and the Conclave here to defend against the Scout that's coming across the map here. Going one into Therium for Kiwi for top here. I'm going to constantly make that mistake, I'm sure. And you guys might think that having the Scout constantly harassing your workers is kind of annoying. Don't be afraid to just put one of your high health imps. Look at how much damage he's actually done here. Yeah, he's traded a lot of HP. There are these little flowers here, though, so he will be able to heal back up to full. But Infernals start with one extra worker than Vanguard does, so don't be too afraid of trading some HP here. Okay, we've got one Gaunt is out. Two Imps are going to go down and try to screen for the Gaunt, try to get some defense here. As we're going to try to expand. I think this is going to probably become a Shroud, Stone, and a Shrine. And a second Scout is on the way across the map. Theory is going to want to get these buildings down pretty soon. Okay, he's actually not putting the Shroud Stone down yet. A third Scout is on the way. The Biokinetics Lab in order to get the upgrade for the dogs. Neuro, thank you so much for the raid. Guys, we are doing some Stormgate replay casting. As I live and breathe, we are currently casting Theory versus Top, some of the best players in the world. This is going to be a very high-level match. If you guys would like to participate, feel free to submit your own replays to my Discord. !socials in the replays channel. There is a instruction on how you can get your replays and send them to me. Currently, Top is just going to be having a bit of a an aggressive posture, just holding the ramp here, not really looking to get any damage done, doesn't want to trade any HP off of these Scouts, especially with this amount of Gaunts out. Looks like this Gaunt, though, maybe in a bit of a weird spot there, not behind the meat farm. And more Scouts on the way. Oh, no, he's actually going to be going into Lancer production. So only going to see 3 Scouts. We've seen a lot of different number of Scouts in the Infernal versus Vanguard matchup. We've seen people go as heavy as 8. Some people stay on 1. It's really just, it seems like personal preference at this point. But the main strength of the Scout, it seems like in Vanguard versus Infernal, is just being able to deny Infernal from being able to creep very easily. So Inferno would love to be out on the map, especially going to these speed camps and getting some fiends from these Gaunts. That would just be the best thing for them right now so they can take map control. They absolutely need to be careful of these Scouts, though. Theory is not quite sure how many Top has made. He could be going up to as many as 8 or even 10. He's not quite sure how many Lancers are out on the map yet. So he's just playing cautiously. Securing his natural. He's now fully pulled off of Therium mining and going only into Luminite here. So just staying 10 out of 12. This is, if you guys didn't know, the most efficient currently mining setup for Luminite. You can go 10 out of 12. You can still go 12 out of 12. But it's not as efficient as if you just had those workers go to a different base that was not already 10 out of 12. So the more you know. Will that change before the next time people can play? Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? All right. In Vanguard here, actually going for a bit of an expansion cheese. Already the third base is finished, and they are beginning to mine Luminite, so they kind of stop production on their Lancers for a good long while. You can kind of get constant Lancer production as the Vanguard player if you decide to, but they're opting to play it a bit more aggressive in the economy aspect. So choosing to get a third started and finished before the third is even halfway done for the Infernals here. So that's a pretty big grab. I think if Theory knew how far ahead his opponent was economically, he wouldn't be too afraid to move out on the map here. This could just be standard at their level of play, though. It's hard to say, right? It's very difficult to know, especially saying something is even standard. The game is still in closed beta, so we're really just seeing, these players figuring it out as they go along. Infernals can always oversaturate and then just make buildings with the ones that are above 10 on Luminite. That's true. You can. You can absolutely do that. You do want to be careful, though, because Luminite mining, so this is another little pro tip for you. Luminite mining is like gas mining in StarCraft 2. If you are over, so if you go over 12 here, so if you're at 13, that 13th imp is not doing anything. You are losing all of your effectiveness from that one imp. So it's 0% effective. Scouts here actually getting some good damage, killing off an imp as it was trying to transfer bases, and then killing off those fell hogs. Now those fell hogs do provide +2 supply per fell hog. They will respawn on their own, but it'll take some time, so that might be Theory being a little bit supply blocked for now. And he's currently split his army. He's got 2 groups. One of them is going to try to go for this speed camp over here, take that vision camp down. The other one might be trying to harass a little bit, but these Lancers have picked up on it very quickly. Theory is going to want to get out of here. They have the speed upgrade on these, so he definitely needs to get these Gaunts out of here quickly, if he can. Don't know if he's going to be able to succeed. He is able to get... Might lose this one Gaunt. I'm not quite sure. And he is creeping this camp to get these Fiends. That Gaunt is going to indeed go down. Lancers with the speed boost, man. Very scary. Very scary unit. Okay, but that camp has been taken. There's a flower here if he wants to heal up that brute. Probably not looking at that quite yet. And he is going to see that top is going for the 4th base now. Theory is only on 3, though. Has to get that 4th expansion down. Would say sooner rather than later at this point. There's a lot of units out here for top. It's going to be kind of difficult to push in. But he is going to go. He's going to try for it. Builds another Conclave, another Iron Vault. And he is going to go for the Ritual Chamber and the Shadow Building. I still don't remember what this is called. It's the one that makes the Magmadons. Okay, 4th base going up here for Theory. Top just doing a great job controlling the map, killing these camps as soon as they come back up here. And it looks like they're starting to go into Lancer Exo Medic. Very standard build right now for Vanguard, very strong. Not really seeing many Atlas or Vulcan plays, just like spamming those 3 units. It's the new Marine Marauder Medevac. Before you had MMM, now you have LEM. You've got LEM. And I'm not surprised, but it's very impressive to see Top keep these scouts alive from the very beginning of the game. I think only losing 1 scout in total this game, and has just done a wonderful job keeping these ones active. Just really keeping tabs on Theory's army. Just doing a fantastic job there. 6th base going down. I'm sorry, 5th base for Top here. He's staying 1 base ahead of our Infernal player, Mr. Theory. Theory has gone for a Twilight, so he can make Shadow Flowers if he needs to. Haven't really seen any pro players making Spriggans. Spriggans are a bit weird to make right now. They kind of fit a niche that doesn't really exist, I would say. A lot of Inferno players versus Vanguard are just favoring Weaver, Hellborn, Brute. Not really too many Gaunts. Gaunts aren't doing so much work in the late game, mid to late game. Really only great for creeping and in the early game there. Conversely, in Inferno versus Infernal, Gaunts are incredible. Gaunts are useful for the whole game until, like, Magmadons. So we'll see how this goes. Fiends keeping an eye on this base over here, making sure that top doesn't get the 6th base without a fight. And he's going to go in for a bit of a poke here. He's going to go back out. The Hellborn getting a bit stuck behind these units, though. Oh, God, he's got to be careful. Okay. That could have been a bit disastrous here. Hellborn, very expensive. Definitely very nervous having it all the way in the back of the army. But we'll see how this goes. Get some nice damage in there. Was it worth it? Okay, we've got 4 Hellborn, some Weavers moving forward. Yeah, Hellborns are taking a good fight here. Getting some really good damage done. Weavers are pulling in the Exos. Lancers are getting a solid surround. The Weavers are trying to move in. They're very tanky. Brutes are doing a wonderful job tanking. He actually pulls his Hellborn over to the side to try to get a better position on them. He's going to try to retreat here. Not really an option with his Weavers. He's going to try to stay and fight. These Lancers are almost all dead. The Weavers now getting taken out. A nice consume on that Weaver at the end there. Does bide a little bit of extra time, but does get taken out at the end here. Doesn't lose. I think he only lost 1 of his Hellborn there. And 1 Weaver. The Weaver, very expensive. Really finicky unit to make. A lot of Infernals. You have a hard time. Goes for an Exploding Imp there. Almost takes down that Exo. It will be able to get healed back up to full, but takes that Lancer down as well. As now Theory approaches an endgame army of Hellborn, Weaver, Brute. You can see he's not really remaking those Gaunts here. They don't really serve too much of a purpose. They do a little bit of filler damage. But because the bulk of your army that's not attacking... Or sorry, the Hellborns are going to be attacking a lot of the Exos. The Weavers are going to be pulling a lot of the Exos in. The Brutes are kind of the ones that are going to be attacking the Lancers. And Gaunts just do so bad damage versus Lancers. It's pitiful. Bit of a tough situation here for Theory, though. He's not really going to be able to defend this location too well. He's just going to need a lot of Shroud Stones going down. Weavers, not really the quickest at repositioning. Oh, and here comes some Imps. He's going to go for the Mineral Line. Does manage to get most of them. Some of them do explode onto that sentry there. Oh, another big engage happening here. Some Hellborn trying to get some damage out. Now, the Weavers do have unit walking, so they can move through to the front, which is very good. They used to not be able to do that. And they're surprisingly tanky, especially with their consume ability. So if you guys haven't seen that, it allows them to attack, or basically eat the nearest fiend, and it fully restores their white health. So it won't heal them, but it will give them that buffer shield. Okay, bit of an awkward angle here for Theory to try to defend. Does manage to get some of his Imps out of the way. And once again, the Imps going for the exploding mode, taking out a good amount of the units here from Top's army. He's trying to go for the Illuminite line, but is unable to quite get there. Now, this is a bit of an awkward engage, again, for Theory, because he doesn't have anything that kills trees. And, of course, his Weavers and Hellborns not going to be able to get through here. Okay, we're activating some Flamey Imps, I believe. Maybe not. Yeah, again, Theory just does not really have a way to get through here. You can see his Hellborn and Weavers struggling. It's a very good harassment angle for Exo, Lancer, Medic, because all of them can fit through those trees with ease. Yeah, you could maybe hide some Imps in those trees, would be kind of good. And he's going to try to take the high ground here. Top is going to go for the harassment position on this base here. Lots of Weavers, a bit exposed though. They're going to start pulling in these Exos one by one. Hellborn coming in from the back line, getting some big damage done. There's not really the Lancers in position to tank the front line here. They now are moving in, but there's so much damage coming out from these Hellborns. They're getting so much done. These Weavers already starting to pull in these Medics, and there is a Flayed Dragon. Now I'm going to pause here. It's the middle of the action. However, Theory has told me before this game that his game bugged out. He spawned his flayed dragon, and it was invisible to him. He couldn't see it. He couldn't really select it. I think it responded to all army grabs, but he actually couldn't see and he couldn't use it. So apparently he just YOLOs it in and it immediately dies here in a second. But this fight going absolutely incredibly for Theory so far. The Weavers taking that front line. And yeah, you can see the Flayed Dragon not using any of its abilities here. Theory doesn't know where it is, so Top is able to just take that Flayed Dragon down immediately. That is 500, 500, and 300 essence just destroyed there in favor of the Vanguard. They're starting to chew through. So many Weavers have already gone down, but these Hellborn numbers are not going anywhere. Weavers pulling in those Atlases that are getting some good damage done. Couple of Magmadons. Magmadons trying to get some stuns in, but just getting kited immediately from those Exos. He's going to try to retreat the majority of his Hellborns here as he produces more brutes to tank that front line. Very, very big fights happening over here. Once again, Atlases are sieging up. Not quite able to get in range of these imp workers, though. Theory has taken his 6th base here. He's posturing to try to get some damage done. A Shroud Stone moves forward. He does his Infernal Faction ability to spawn that. Try to give himself some vision. Hellborn's getting massive damage in, though. All 6 of them there. Able to shoot on the same unit. You see that cone damage really coming into play here. Anytime they hit in, they're just doing some huge work. Weavers, once again, pulling in those Atlases, trying to get them into better positions for the Hellborns to take out. Hellborns would love to be attacking infantry, but they really don't have too much of a choice while the Atlas is just shelling down left and right. Hellborn, oh my gosh. The Hellborns are getting so much damage in. Maybe a bit of a mistake here attacking this creep camp. Screwing a bit with the AI, he goes for the Shroud ability to make the entire map covered in Shroud, so he starts regenning white health. Oh, dude, those Hellborn hits are crazy. Now, I don't think Theory is manually controlling his Hellborns. I think he's just letting them do what they're going to do. So you'll see sometimes they're just going to attack one solo unit. It's kind of sad when that happens. You really want them to be attacking the bulk of the army so they get as much effectiveness out of that splash damage as possible. All right, now Top has not taken this base quite yet. In theory, actually, with this vision camp, is able to see that. And now he's the one that's going to be posturing a bit on the high ground. Maybe trying to pull in some of those more valuable units like the medics and the Atlases. His Weavers moving forward. It always seems like when you play with Weavers, they're the slowest thing in the world. But then when you watch Weavers, they seem, I mean, still very slow, but not that bad. Some very good control here. Trying to get those Weavers to the front just to tank for those Hellborn. And once again, Weavers pulling in the Vulcans and the Exos, trying to get at those more valuable units. It looks like one of the Weavers going to go down. A little bit of attack micro stuttering there. And yeah, I think this is just a winning position here for Theory, even losing his Flayed Dragon immediately and not doing anything with it. It looks like Infernal is just a bit too strong. Theory showing us how to take the game to the Vanguard players. And the secret is Hellborn Weavers. Fantastic stuff here, though. Top with the extremely early expands. You can see the totem going down to, once again, try to get some more white health. There's not really much tanking for these Hellborn now, but there's not many units left to threaten them either. There's just some brutes and gaunts in the foreground. These Atlases in the back, though, might be able to get something done. We do need to be a bit cautious with its Hellborn. I guess not. There's really actually not much left to attack them. I think Theory is just going to keep pushing in here. Fiends doing a wonderful job DPSing down these Atlases. And I think that's going to be GG in favor of Theory. Taking down Top, pushing in to the 5th base. What is this? The 5th? Yeah. 5th, 4th, whatever the space was. He's going to back off for now. Try and replenish some of his units. Get these Weavers going in forward as well. But looking very good. Some very smart decision making from Theory. And that is going to be GG. As a Flayed Dragon comes in. Wanting to do one spell in this game. Unable to do so. GG. Well played to both our players there. Showing us the strength of Weaver Hellborn. And Top showing us the mobility of Exo Medic Lancer. Super nicely done.